We're continuing on looking at what happens in the Gospel of John after the Easter story. And today I'm reading to you a fascinating one I think it's fun for us to share together. And it's this idea how Jesus is preparing his followers to be peaceful warriors. And the courage, the desire to make a difference, the commitment, all those things are part of this. And it's easy, I think, a lot of the time to sort of subtract that from faith, and it's really not. Faith really is about commitment, discipline, disciple, the words go together. And it does take a real level of commitment, and that's what God asks of us. So it's got great parts to it, as the saying goes, where God loves us just the way we are. And then it has challenging parts to it, which is the second part of that quote, and loves us so much he doesn't want us to stay that way. An off-use quote, which I find very, very true. So let me read it to you today. So the context here, folks, is this. So this is literally the day after. And this is Jesus's kind of his first time encountering all of his followers in the round, all the disciples in the round. Again, Judas has died by this point, so there's 11 of them. They're in a room. They've sort of clustered there. They're deeply anxious. They've locked the door, and I think that's to put us in the place of them. Like, as we read this story, we're to think, oh yeah, we would do the same thing. And of course, most of us would. And it's interesting to see how Jesus approaches them in this moment. Now, again, remember, the vast majority of them, with just a few exceptions, had deserted him. They had bolted for the hills out of anxiety around what the Romans would do to them, understandably so. And that's where we pick up this story here today. And notice again what Jesus says and what Jesus doesn't say. The two are really interesting to me. Then that same day at evening, being the first day of the week, when the doors were shut, where the disciples were assembled for fear of the Jews, Jesus came and stood in the midst of them and said, "Peace be with you." That is a beautiful line, right? Peace be with you. I was thinking through, what are all the things Jesus could have said? Well, as we'll go through several times here, he could have said, "Where were you guys? Why did you desert me? I told you so." Any number of different things. And instead, what he offers them, or he could have tried to rally them, actually. Instead, what he offers is he says, "Look, guys, peace be with you." Think about that. Because there would have been two levels of anxiety they would have been dealing with. They would have been dealing with the level of anxiety here around Jesus's death. And then all of a sudden, Jesus shows up, and that would be also a little anxiety producing. And Jesus doesn't tell them to, grab your swords, get ready for battle. Now is the time. Vengeance is ours. None of that. None of that. He says, "Peace be with you. Peace be with you." He's trying to create a group of peaceful warriors. Now, it's interesting thinking about that, folks, because, obviously, thinking about the Ukrainian situations, how much I'm sure we all admire the stand the Ukrainians are taking. So it's not about saying, no, we don't take those kinds of really forceful stands. I mean, it is. But even with that, can we bring peace with us, even in those really, really challenging times? I think that's what it's talking about here. And the key part I wanted to share with you really is that I think life, a lot of the time, we tend to think of it as being heroic moments. We watch movies for the heroic moments. We think of our lives oftentimes as we would play them out, or as a series of heroic moments, or what will we do to be a hero or a heroine at some point in time. And yet life doesn't play out in the heroic. It plays out in the ordinary. All right, I want to say that again. Life doesn't play out in the heroic. It plays out in the ordinary. And I think Jesus is trying to get them ready to live heroic lives at an ordinary level, where they can learn to work together without fear, That idea of living the heroic at the ordinary level, I imagine most of you know and could give countless examples of that. The people who just keep on showing up just in very ordinary ways, but they continue to show up in ordinary ways that end up being somehow heroic. I mean, it really is quite something else to witness. One example I was thinking of that I was giving to someone just yesterday, actually, was the Constitution Center down in Philadelphia. So I did a wedding down there, and you wouldn't think the Constitution Center would be a prime wedding venue, right? I mean, that's a little different, and I can't imagine a lot of brides being like, "Yes, the Constitution Center, I'm in." And so I was talking to the couple about why they had chosen it before the wedding, and it was fascinating. It turns out he had a brother who had been shot in a robbery, struggled with quadriplegia, and what he had done so his brother could be part of the wedding in every single facet of it is he called around in Philadelphia, did research, and found the most handicap accessible building in Philadelphia. And guess what it was? The U.S. Constitution Center. See, folks, that looks ordinary, right? Like, I mean, it just looks ordinary. It just looks like, yeah, this couple had this wedding and they decided, to have it at the Constitution Center. But the reality is that's incredibly heroic on many ways. And you have to have sort of a peacefulness of life that undergirds that. And it's a shalom. It's a peace that is not, and I say this a lot, really important. It's a peace that is not a peace that is only present in the absence of conflict. It's a peace that we carry with us even when things are deeply conflicted. And that's the shalom that God is asking us for. And it's interesting. We're going to see this over the next few days. He actually says this 3 times. He wishes this to them. And it is the wish, right? Of peace, shalom, remembering that life is oftentimes not heroic. It's oftentimes ordinary, but we can choose the heroic response in the ordinary. And that's how I think so much of the world changes. Those people who just, with very committed, disciplined ways, show up over long stretches of time, faithful obedience in one direction, as they say, or long obedience in one direction, and just keep showing up. It's that simple. So that's my thought today, folks, about how to be a peaceful warrior. And I think that's what Jesus is calling us to. And I hope that makes sense. So with that, dear friends, what we're going to do is we're going to do a little meditation here. After the meditation, we'll do a little blessing. After the blessing, we'll do a little prayer. And then we'll say hello to folks on social media. So with that, friends, let's all get a big breath. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am. Be still and know that I. Be still and know that. Be still and know. Be still and. Be still. Be. Our Father, who art in the heavens, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, as in heaven, so upon the earth. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we also forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you. May the Lord lift up his countenance upon you, bring you peace, and bring you home. Amen. All right, dear friends. So a quick cheery hello. And again, I hope everyone is having a great week. And I even saw some pictures from out in some of the folks who watch us out in Michigan. They had snow, which is like crazy to even imagine. And it was, I came out to our cabin last night and even saw some snow out here. So welcome, welcome to crazy, crazy weather this week, right? All right, friends. So let's take a look at some comments here. All right. Tori writes, good morning. I am off today. So happy to be here with you all. Tori, it's great to have you here as well. Always wonderful to see your name pop up there. Linda, good morning to you, my friend. I hope you're doing well. Patricia, good morning to you and love seeing that heart and hope you have a wonderful week. Paige, hope you are doing well, my friend, and that life is plugging along. Martha, I am sure you probably got a little dusting of snow out there, I would imagine. Marilee, good morning to you, my friend. Linda writes, Peaceful War. It's actually a title to a book. I did not know that. There you go. Yes, Gene, that is one of the most beautiful quotes out of New Church Theology that Gene is citing there. Peace has within it trust in the Lord, and that he leads to good things, and all things bend towards goodness. It's a beautiful line. Peace has within it trust in the Lord. And that's such a very different idea of faith, right? We see faith and trust and peace. They all come together, which is, I think that's what, I guess what the Lord is asking us to do. Oh, Marcus, you've read the book. There we go. A book I didn't know existed. And it turns out we have a number of people who know it. That is wonderful. Natalie Devereaux. Natalie, I'm so glad you're joining us this morning. Good morning to you. And wishing, I don't know if you're from the Devereaux out in Western Pennsylvania, who are part of my old stomping ground or not, but wonderful to have you joining us here this morning. So, folks, wishing you all the very best. God bless. Take care. Have a great day. Bye-bye.